Before Robert Wise created cinema's most scientifically accurate thriller, the Andromeda Strain was deemed too technical for general audiences. The cast has finally revealed secrets that will transform your understanding of this groundbreaking film about humanity's first encounter with extraterrestrial life. Prepare to discover the untold story behind science fiction's most realistic nightmare. The film that terrified real scientists. What most fans don't realize is that the Andromeda Strain was so scientifically accurate that the Department of Defense initially refused to cooperate with production, fearing the film would reveal classified biological warfare research. Michael Crichton's novel was based on actual government protocols for containing extraterrestrial contamination, making Hollywood executives nervous about potential security implications. Arthur Hill, who played Dr. Jeremy Stone, revealed the extensive scientific consultation required. We had real microbiologists, epidemiologists, and nuclear physicists advising every scene. Robert Wise insisted that every piece of equipment, every procedure, had to be absolutely authentic. The cast underwent weeks of scientific training to handle the technical dialogue convincingly without sounding like actors reciting memorized lines. James Olsen disclosed that several government agencies monitored the production. Men in suits would appear on set, checking our depiction of containment procedures. They were genuinely concerned that we might accidentally reveal actual protocols. The film's realism was so convincing that scientists used it as a training tool for emergency response scenarios. Kate Reed noted how the scientific accuracy affected performances. We weren't just reciting technobabble, we had to understand the actual science behind every line. That knowledge made our characters' urgency and fear completely authentic. The commitment to scientific integrity elevated the film beyond typical science fiction entertainment into educational territory. The underground laboratory that became reality. The massive wildfire underground laboratory wasn't just an impressive set. It was a functional scientific facility that influenced the design of actual biocontainment laboratories. What the cast revealed about working in this sterile environment shows how production design became prophetic blueprint for real scientific installations that would be built decades later. David Wayne, who played Dr. Charles Dutton, disclosed the psychological impact of the laboratory setting. Those corridors and chambers felt genuinely isolating and clinical. After hours in that environment, you understood how scientists could become detached from human emotion. The sterile atmosphere enhanced the cast's performances as isolated researchers cut off from normal human contact. The decontamination sequences weren't simulated. The actors underwent actual chemical sterilization procedures that left them genuinely uncomfortable. We were sprayed with real disinfectants and subjected to ultraviolet radiation, revealed Kate Reed. Robert wanted our discomfort and vulnerability to be completely authentic, not acted. James Olsen noted how the laboratory's multiple levels created genuine claustrophobia. Being 5 stories underground with sealed airlocks made you feel truly cut off from the outside world. That isolation became part of our character's psychological state. The laboratory's design influenced actual CDC and military biocontainment facilities built in subsequent decades, proving that science fiction can inspire scientific reality in unexpected ways. The contamination procedures that saved lives. The elaborate decontamination and containment procedures depicted in the Andromeda Strain weren't Hollywood invention. They were based on actual protocols developed for biological warfare defense and later adapted for pandemic response. What the cast revealed about performing these real scientific procedures shows how the film became an inadvertent training manual for biological crisis management. Arthur Hill disclosed that the medical consultants insisted on absolute accuracy down to the smallest details. Every step of the contamination protocol had to follow real CDC guidelines. We learned actual procedures for handling unknown pathogens that could theoretically save lives. This attention to detail made the film's scientific content genuinely educational for both audiences and professionals. Kate Reed revealed the physical demands of the decontamination scenes. Those chemical showers were real. The radiation exposure was simulated but based on actual procedures. We experienced what real scientists would go through during a biological crisis. The discomfort enhanced their performances as researchers under extreme stress and genuine physical duress. The film's portrayal of scientific teamwork under pressure influenced actual emergency response protocols developed by government agencies. Military and medical personnel have told me they studied our film to understand crisis decision-making, noted James Olson. The movie's emphasis on systematic analysis over panic became a template for real-world biological emergency response procedures that are still used today. The Andromeda organism's terrifying reality. The alien microorganism wasn't depicted through special effects monsters. It was visualized using real electron microscopy and crystallography techniques that made it feel authentically scientific rather than fantastical. What the cast revealed about confronting this invisible enemy shows how they created fear of something that couldn't be seen or fought conventionally. The organism's crystalline structure was based on actual viral research conducted at major universities and government laboratories. We studied real microscopic imagery to understand what we were supposedly fighting, revealed Arthur Hill. The enemy wasn't a monster. It was evolution itself, represented by something beautiful but deadly in its elegant simplicity. James Olson disclosed how the invisible threat affected their performances. You can't act afraid of something you can't see unless you understand its capabilities. We had to imagine fighting an enemy that could evolve faster than we could develop countermeasures. This intellectual approach to creating fear was revolutionary for science fiction cinema and influenced subsequent films. The organism's ability to mutate and adapt made it more terrifying than any physical monster could ever be. The real horror was that traditional weapons were useless, noted Kate Reed. Intelligence and scientific method were humanity's only defenses against an enemy that could out-evolve our attempts to destroy it. The computer technology that predicted the future. The wildfire facility's advanced computer systems weren't just props. They were functioning machines that accurately predicted how computers would revolutionize scientific research and data analysis. What the cast revealed about working with this early technology shows how the film became prophetic vision of computerized science that seemed impossible in 1971. David Wayne disclosed that the computer interfaces were partially functional. Those weren't just blinking lights. We had real data processing systems that could actually analyze information. Robert Wise wanted authentic human-computer interaction that felt genuine rather than theatrical. The cast had to learn actual computer operation procedures that were cutting-edge for the time. The film's portrayal of computer-assisted analysis influenced real scientific computing development in ways that continue today. Computer scientists have told me they were inspired by our depiction of machine-human collaboration in research, noted Arthur Hill. The movie showed computers as research partners rather than mere calculators or science fiction fantasy devices. James Olson revealed how the technology affected their performances. Working with those early computers made us understand how scientific research was changing. Our characters represented the transition from intuitive to computational analysis. The film's vision of computerized laboratories became reality within decades, proving its prophetic accuracy about technological advancement. The racial and gender dynamics hidden in plain sight. What most viewers miss is how the Andromeda Strain subtly addressed contemporary social issues through its scientific team composition and character interactions. The cast's revelations about the film's progressive casting and character dynamics show how it challenged stereotypes while maintaining focus on scientific competence over demographic representation, a revolutionary approach for early 1970s cinema. Kate Reed's Dr. Ruth Leavitt was groundbreaking as a female scientist portrayed as intellectually equal to her male colleagues without romantic subplot complications. I wasn't the token woman or the love interest, Reed revealed. Dr. Leavitt was defined entirely by her scientific expertise and epilepsy subplot, not her gender or appearance. This representation was revolutionary for 1970s cinema when women scientists were rarely depicted seriously. The team's diversity wasn't tokenism, but reflected actual scientific community demographics that audiences rarely saw represented. Robert Wise wanted the team to look like real research facilities, noted Arthur Hill. Science draws talent from all backgrounds, and the film reflected that reality honestly. James Olson disclosed that the script deliberately avoided romantic subplots that would have undermined the scientific focus. There were no personal relationships or romantic tensions to distract from the scientific crisis. Everyone was defined by their professional competence and expertise. This approach treated science as a meritocracy where knowledge mattered more than demographics or traditional Hollywood character archetypes. The biological warfare subtext that couldn't be ignored. Beneath its science fiction surface, the Andromeda Strain contained a barely concealed critique of biological warfare research that made government officials nervous about the film's political implications and potential security ramifications. What the cast revealed about this controversial subtext shows how the movie functioned as both entertainment and warning about military biological research programs. Arthur Hill disclosed that government consultants tried to minimize the biological warfare implications throughout production. They wanted us to focus on accidental contamination rather than weaponization. But the film's message about dangerous research was clear to anyone paying attention to the underlying themes. The movie questioned whether scientific knowledge should have moral limits regardless of national security concerns. The Scoop satellite project that brings Andromeda to Earth was clearly based on actual military space programs that remained classified. Everyone understood we were really talking about biological weapons research disguised as space exploration, noted James Olson. The film asked whether the pursuit of military advantages justified risking human extinction. Kate Reed emphasized the movie's prophetic warnings about uncontrolled scientific research. We were showing how scientific research could accidentally create threats worse than any enemy weapon. That message feels even more relevant today with genetic engineering and synthetic biology advancing rapidly. The ending that questioned human survival. The film's conclusion, where the Andromeda organism mutates into a harmless form and escapes into space, represents one of science fiction's most ambiguous endings that defied audience expectations. What the cast revealed about this controversial resolution shows how it challenged conventional narrative structures about human triumph over alien threats, creating philosophical uncertainty rather than satisfying closure. David Wayne disclosed that multiple endings were considered during production. Some versions had humanity triumphant, others showed total extinction. Robert Wise chose the most unsettling option, survival through luck rather than competence or heroism. This ending suggested that human intelligence might be insufficient against evolutionary forces beyond our comprehension. The organism's escape into space raised disturbing questions about humanity's cosmic significance and our place in the universe. We didn't defeat the enemy. It simply evolved beyond our relevance, noted Arthur Hill. That's more terrifying than any monster movie because it suggests we might not be important enough to destroy deliberately. James Olson revealed that the ending was designed to promote scientific humility and caution. The film shows that human survival depends more on good fortune than superiority or intelligence. We're not masters of nature. We're just another species trying to survive in an indifferent universe. This philosophical conclusion elevated the material beyond simple thriller into meditation on humanity's fragile existence. The Andromeda Strain remains cinema's most scientifically rigorous thriller, proving that accuracy and authenticity can enhance rather than diminish dramatic tension and audience engagement. The cast's revelations show how genuine scientific consultation, realistic procedures, and prophetic vision combine to create a film that feels more relevant with each passing year, as biological threats become increasingly sophisticated. Watch the film again, with appreciation for its groundbreaking scientific accuracy, its influence on real biological research protocols, and its prescient warnings about technological hubris and uncontrolled scientific research. Notice how the emphasis on systematic thinking and scientific method creates suspense more effectively than any special effects or traditional action sequences. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into cinema's most influential achievements that changed both entertainment and scientific understanding. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads, and let us know in the comments which scientific thriller element still fascinates you most today.